of the 5 big discourses of Jesus. He addressed it to his disciples, and he is giving them instructions for a divided community. One can feel the tension between the diverse groups and problems about communal life. So here we have a way to alleviate those tensions. We are called to pay attention to the little children, to follow their example and forgiveness of self and others as a basic norm for a Christian community. This is a model for all times, a change in values that has been inaugurated with the arrival of the kingdom. It all started with a question by the disciples. Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? As they answered, Jesus called a child and sat him in the middle of them. Then reminded them to be like that child. As opposed to now, in those times, a child did not have any legal rights. Whatever a child got was a gift. So in the same manner, God's kingdom is not attained by force. It's a gift that is received by the humbleness and gratefulness of a child. Let us talk about how easy it is for a child to believe, to forgive, and to give unconditionally. It is an innate quality that with time, or as we grow up or older, become adults, we tend to forget. When you're a kid and a friend upsets you, it might take a little while, but soon the offense is forgiven and all is well. You and I know it is not so easy when we become adults, right? We take offenses more seriously, we hold resentments, and we don't forgive easily. If we don't learn to talk about an offense or clarifying a point, we might get ourselves holding grudges and keeping resentments in our hearts. Excuse me. Children have the ability to forget and forgive easily. They receive without expectations of reciprocity. They enjoy the moment without trying to figure out what's in for me. Maybe we need to be reminded of the amazing power of forgiveness our God shows us all the time. It began with Jesus hanging on a cross for the forgiveness of all of God's creation. We have already been forgiven. So my question for all of us this morning is, why are we then so hard on ourselves? It could be a question for me alone, because I know how hard I can be on myself about my mistakes or shortcomings. But I am guessing that some of you here are also hard on yourselves. For example, my own sister has had a very difficult time dealing with her divorce. She was married for 20 years. Now, she can't forgive herself for having been in an abusive relationship for so long. She's angry at herself and of her choices, but that attitude translates into frustration and resentment. It is not healthy, not a healthy picture. I also have another friend whose divorce made him so angry with God that he can let go. There are many of these examples. here, and I am sure that you all have heard stories or have met people under such circumstances. As we walk through this Lenten season, we must remember that the scriptures remind us to enter into its challenge. Reconciliation with others begins with us. Jesus calls us to be his disciples, to be his community. He also invites us to be different, as with the mathematical answer he gave to Peter. Forgive your enemy not 7 times, but 70 times 7. How much is that?
1,509.
It's a lot. Jesus died for us on the cross to show us God's mercy and forgiveness. Therefore, we must remember that Jesus is calling us to an entirely new way to envision relationships. He is inviting us to create newness. And that has to begin with us, showing compassion and forgiveness to others and to ourselves. Could I hear an amen?
Amen.
When we are reminded that God remains compassionate, forgiving, and loving, we can allow ourselves to be honest about our lives and look at ourselves with compassion so that we can be compassionate. I like to call this step purity of heart. Thich Nhat Hanh is a renowned Zen master, writer, poet, scholar, and peacemaker. With the exception of the Dalai Lama, he is today's best-known Buddhist teacher. He described the root of anger in his book, Peace is Every Step, this way, open quotation. Anger is rooted in our lack of understanding of ourselves and the causes, deep-seated as well as immediate, that brought about this unpleasant state of affairs. Anger is also rooted in desire, pride, agitation, and suspicion. The primary roots of our anger are in ourselves. Our environment and other people are only secondary. It is not difficult for us to accept the enormous damage brought about by a natural disaster, such as an earthquake or a flood. But when damage is caused by another person, we don't have much patience. We know that earthquakes and floods had causes, and we should see that the person who has precipitated our anger also has reasons, deep-seated and immediate, for what he or she has done. End of quotation. I practice meditation every morning along with my devotionals and my quiet time. I also wrote these words in my kitchen so that I can read them often. Dejar ser, dejar pasar. Let it be, let it go. Because there are things, people, recuerdos, that are better to let go and let be. So my friends, I think the Beatles had it right. Remember?
Yeah.
Why not apply these wonderful words of wisdom all the time? It has worked wonders for me, and maybe it will work also for you. I invite you to use this Lenten season to renew your connection with our awesome God. recalling the arrival of Jesus, reading the New Testament. It is the signaling of a new era. God entered history in a personal way and made it unmistakably clear that He is on our side, doing everything possible to save us. Let us continue to tell Jesus' stories to all we encounter, and with the amazing power of the Holy Spirit, may we continue to share the good news.